Next question is from a man with a mission. What's your take on exercise snacks? Besides pull-ups and push-ups, what other exercises are great to do during your breaks?
Ooh, I'm glad you picked this.
I love how they
so we could tear this apart.
Everybody.
No, not only that, this is also an example of bastardizing trigger sessions.
Yeah.
Like the idea of a trigger session is not during your workouts.
Yeah.
It's not intermittently in your breaks when you should be resting, recovering, and preparing for your next set.
Yeah.
It's done on off days when you're not training in the gym. And this is an example. And boy, I'm glad you picked this because I wonder how many people have done this to
There's two ways of looking at this. One of them is doing short kind of workouts on a daily basis, focused on maybe an exercise or technique that you want to get better at. I like that. The other way would be to use it as a way to facilitate recovery and to amplify your hard workouts, which is what a trigger session is. So
none of those ways is this way, though, right?
It doesn't sound like
no,
it.
No, it's not. This person is saying between your breaks of lifting.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it says of lifting or if it's in between breaks of like working, like at work. If I'm interpreting it that way, I would say that this is a smart approach. Because now you're adding in like some of these exercises, you can hone in on the skill of it by doing it more frequently.
Oh, okay. So I totally read that. I'm reading you that there. I'm glad you made that point.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it could be.
No, I
mean,
mean, now that I reread it,
I think you're right, Justin.
Yeah, you could be right. This could be somebody who is saying, during my work breaks, I've got 10, 15 minutes. What are some good exercise snacks? That makes more sense if you're a listener. I love that too. So I want to make that clear. I understood that as breaks in your workout,
So they're
like
compromising.
your rest periods, and you're trying to do exercises.
That's not resting. I think we do need to be clear about that.
I apologize to the listener if I misread that.
No, I think during breaks, like work breaks and stuff, I love when people practice exercises.
Yeah.
It's a great way to get stronger. It's a great way to get better at the exercise. It's a great
discipline.
It's a great way to move. The key is, though, the intensity can't be high. So you're not going to do a 10-minute all-out workout. You're doing 10 minutes of an exercise at moderate intensity at best, and you're practicing it frequently. So using pull-ups as an example, let's say you could do 10 pull-ups. Let's say that's the most you could do. Then what you would do is during your breaks, let's say you had 3 breaks at work, you would go and do like 4 pull-ups.
Yeah.
So nowhere near 10. You would do something like 4 or 5, and you would just practice it on a regular basis. And what that'll do is over time, you'll get stronger and stronger and stronger to where you could do 6, 7, and 8 at the same intensity that it took to do the 4
So
or 5.
this person is, though, asking, like, what are other exercises besides those that we would consider doing?
Body weight squats, lunges.
You could get a rubber band, doing like pull aparts.
You could do banded exercises. You could do hip thrusts on the floor. You could do all kinds of core exercises
lunges.
like planks.
I think too, if this was my client, I would probably be encouraging mobility stuff here. If I've now taught you the discipline of using these exercise snacks and breaks, I've never trained a client who couldn't use more mobility drills in their life. And yes, it will help build muscle in the long term. You may not feel it or see it the same as trigger sessions or doing these pull-ups and see gains in the pull-ups as much from the mobility stuff. But as far as overall benefiting your posture, your range of motion, your joint health, longevity of training, I would probably really encourage this client and I would pick 1 or 2 mobility moves that probably would improve their squat ability or their overhead pressing ability, and say, hey, you got good at the pull up and push up thing. We've been doing that really well. Let's start to incorporate like little mobility drills throughout your day, and let's see what that does for your training program. That's kind of probably where I would push somebody like this and allow the foundational days of training, because that's all programmed really well, and your diet to take care of most of the muscle and strength stuff that we're going to do. I would try and encourage you to go that direction, even though you could do what you're doing.